Alright, the Acolyte Episode 2 breakdown and my thoughts. Well, as we enter the Jedi Temple on Olega, May infiltrates very easily, I should add, as she finds Master Torbin, who hasn't spoken to anyone in 10 years, as he sits there and meditates in midair. May tries to fight him, but he has the force field shield on him, so that keeps her out and at bay. Now, Master Torbin took the bearish vow, which we find out in a little bit, and I'm going to explain exactly what that is, because the first time we actually learned about this bearish vow was in the 2017 Darth Vader comic, where he fights Kirak in Fila, which I covered at that time.
Asking Vader if it was him who caused the shift in the Force of all the Jedi's death.
For my transgressions, I took the bearish vow to live alone inside the Force until my true path as a Jedi became clear. I declare my bearish complete, for my brothers and sisters are dead, and their murderer stands before me. I know my path, killer, and its end is also yours.
Osha meets Jecki and Sol speaks with Yord about the twin theory and how they could be working together, that he can't really trust them. Yord is very uptight and a very, very by-the-book Jedi. He's almost kind of like Obi-Wan, just, I don't think, as smart or talented. Vernestra speaks with Sol on hologram and confirms that it's May, Osha's twin sister, as another attack broke out, which was the one against, sleepy Master Torbin. May goes to speak with a potions master at the apothecary who knows about her identity and her Sith master, so I'm guessing this guy is, with her on all of this, or maybe as her guide. Kind of an underground potions poison maker. Anyways, he makes her poison for Torbin and she leaves. When she tells him not to tell the master about this, and this meaning the poison being a weapon, she makes a point that it wouldn't be good for him or her. Now, her master instructed her not to use any weapons to kill these 4 Jedi that she's trying to kill. The reason for this is because it leaves no trace of evidence behind, which, as you'll see in a minute, she ends up doing. And the other reason, I think it's like a rite of passage, kind of, where if she was able to kill all these Jedi Masters without using a weapon, then she can become a Sith Acolyte or something. As Sol heads to Olega to speak with the Jedi Temple guys, which are kind of like mall cops, I feel like, May makes her way in and speaks to Torbin, telling him she knows why he took the bearish vow. The first time we hear of this bearish vow was from the Darth Vader comics from 2017 by Charles Soule, where Vader fights Kirak in Fila, who took the bearish vow, vowing to remain abstinent from activities of the Jedi, refocusing themselves on the Force only. For example, Kirak in Fila took the vow and didn't hide after Order 66 because, well, you don't partake in Jedi activities, which is then how Vader found him. She tells him his past still haunts him, makes him feel guilty for the past, in which we find out he thought he was doing something right at the fire. Now, what this is, I can only assume, would be to leave without properly searching for May. He finally opens his eyes and speaks to her, saying he's waited for her for years. He takes the poison and ends himself due to guilt. He says he thought he and the Jedi were doing the right thing. I guess he was there at the fire all of those years ago. He drinks the poison and dies, but not, of course, before leaving the actual vial of evidence right there. The Jedi arrive at the scene of the crime, and Osha tells them the poison vial smells of Bunta. This is from her hometown. They visit the apothecary as Osha wears a wire on the poison maker, who admits May killed Torbin and that their master will be pleased. So they have it all on tape now. The Jedi infiltrate the shop very quickly, and he says all he knows, which is that May will be back tonight, and that she's trying to get revenge on 4 Jedi Masters, 2 of which are dead. And I guess the others are, of course, Kel Naka the Wookiee, and then Sol. Any Jedi who was stationed on Brendok 16 years ago. So obviously, this is a personal matter to her. I'm assuming that those 4 Jedi left her to die in the fire. Or perhaps didn't save her parents and ended up saving them. Most likely, it's probably what it is. It's like an iRobot situation. May and Sol end up fighting as they stake her out, and he easily beats her. Yord watches from 2 meters away with binoculars to make sure nothing bad happens to Sol. That was a little bit funny during the live stream. They corner May when she uses Force Push to create some smoke and sand to escape. As May runs through the city, she steals a speeder, and Osha and her see each other, finally for the first time. Osha tries to shoot a stun blast at her but misses, and I'm guessing this was probably done on purpose because she's used one before. Sol speaks with Vernestra on Holo. She puts a small number of masters together for a council meeting, and Sol says, look, we don't have time for these meetings. We have to find May and stop her from potentially killing more Jedi Masters. Vernestra says, look, it's one thing that your apprentice went rogue, meaning Osha, and I'm wondering what she means by rogue, because that's, kind of like what Ahsoka did, I suppose. Well, she just went rogue by leaving the Jedi Order. So we'll see if Osha actually went crazy or something. And then Vernestra says it's another thing that an outsider is killing Jedi, so we need to have this meeting. So maybe now we're going to get to see a bit of the Jedi Council. She said it's not the whole council, but just a few of them. And I'm wondering if Yoda is going to be in this meeting at all, or if he's going to be mentioned. I feel like something like this would definitely be brought to Yoda's attention. As May meets with who I call Snape, the potions master, she's informed of Kelnaka's whereabouts on Kofar. It kind of sounds like Kashyyyk, so, Wookiees live in forest planets, dense forest planets, which is the next scene that we see. We jump to the forest planet of Kofar as we see Kelnaka take out some hunters, pulling their blaster to him with the Force. It's always fun to see a Wookiee Jedi. The last time we saw this was an animated form in the Clone Wars with Gungi, or I guess now in the Bad Batch. Overall, second episode was not as fulfilling as the first, and that's really not saying too much in my opinion. But hey, if you liked the first two episodes, kudos to you. I think it's a bit of a boring story. I think we should have been much more entranced and gotten used to the main Jedi characters for like an episode or two, and then start killing them off once we're invested in them. I think that would make the deaths much more meaningful and impactful and exciting. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more to say, but this is essentially the breakdown. As for episode 3, well, I've heard some interesting things, so we'll see where it goes from here. Hope you all had a great day, and whether you enjoyed it or didn't, remember to be respectful in your opinions. But of course, share them. See you all in the next one. Until then, remember the Force will be with you always.